Living abroad?
Sure am.
Moving abroad?
Done it.
Abroad?
Female? No. Living in a different country? Yes.
Not abroad.
That's right, yes.
This is the pod for you.
Good. Listen to the Bitter Balls podcast to join Ben
And Rob.
in the Netherlands as we discuss all things expat, Holland, and more.
Why are we doing this podcast, Ben?
Very good question. We're doing this podcast because we're a couple of expats living, abroad, obviously. I'm from the UK, and Rob.
I'm from the US.
And so we've both lived in different countries before, all over the world, and we have got a fair bit of experience and insights into what it's like being an expat.
Yeah, so in today's episode, we're going to talk about the city of Leiden.
Leiden, where we live.
We were fortunate enough to be here for the holiday called King's Day.
King's Day is a big day here in Holland.
It is a national holiday where everyone comes out in orange.
They do. And they get on the boats, they drink a lot of booze, they have a pretty good time.
Yeah. Every episode, we're going to be trying new drinks, whether it's a beer or something else, and having a few international snacks. If you have any ideas or suggestions, make sure to let us know.
Yes, but please not weird fish.
Oh, God, we're going to have to eat the fish. Shall we start with King's Day?
Yeah, let's start with King's Day. Day one, episode one, minute one.
Minute one. We are here with our dark brew, our Leiden brew of the day. Dink it and sink it.
Frost? What's the one they say here?
I have absolutely no idea. We can hit that at Google Translate. Mm-hmm. We got the Leish beer, the Morse Porter. We picked it up.
The guy in the beer shop said was the oldest of the Leiden's beers. 50 years. I would have expected more, but not bad.
Yeah, it's not as. I'm sure there were some older ones, but this is good enough.
It's okay. It's dark, kind of creamy.
So recently, we were able to experience a national Dutch holiday. In the United States, we have the 4th of July, of course, where everyone gets their barbecues out, gets hot dogs and hamburgers, and you light off some fireworks. In England,
we of course have. That's St. Patrick's Day, which is famously from Ireland.
That's Ireland. Yeah, come on.
Famously from Ireland. Yeah, and in England we have. Well, we gave everybody else their holidays. They took their holidays.
Yes, this is the key. We made our holidays. From
We don't have a holiday, but they have a holiday here.
Our holidays are our breakup dates with
the UK. So you all celebrate your breakups with us. Yeah, your emancipations.
Yes, exactly.
From our questionable colonialization. Anyway, back to the point. So we had last weekend before, King's Day.
Yes, King's Day, which is I think they used to call it Queen's Day because it depends on who the fake monarch is, the unimportant puppet head of the country is, but it's either Queen's Day or King's Day.
Yeah.
And this time it was King's Day. It's a holiday in which most people who would know it think about visiting Amsterdam, having the streets packed with everyone dressed in a bright orange color.
That's the main thing.
On canals, everyone's drunk and partying.
You might have seen pictures of it. It's people on boats wearing orange, pissed. Essentially, that's the whole part. Yeah,
essentially that is exactly what it is. But we had a couple friends who said, let's go to Amsterdam and have the full experience. But since we're in Leiden and we love Leiden,
Friday night is
King's Night.
The night before is, I don't know how to say it, Koningsnacht?
Koningsnacht.
Yeah,
Koningsdag and Koningsnacht.
So we went to The Hague and there was a free festival on, and just Dutch 2000-esque club music aplenty.
Plenty. Yeah. Dutch rappers. Something that I thought I could have never even fathomed.
I could never have fathomed that they could rhyme in this language.
But it is actually incredible.
Yeah, it was really impressive.
Really good. It sounded just like Migos, but the Holland version of Migos.
Yeah, exactly. And now it's free. Hague, another beautiful city. Walking around, beer on the street. Everyone's having a good time. Happy days.
And then King's Day, we decided to stay in our own city of Leiden.
Yep.
Well, some of our friends decided to go to Amsterdam or Rotterdam or wherever the big time stuff is.
Big party cities. Hague, Rotterdam, Amsterdam.
There was free music. Yeah. I'm sure that they have that in every city across the Netherlands for the national holiday. Yeah. But the city just lit up in a way that I'd never seen before, where everyone's around. the streets are full of people just enjoying themselves.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because they're kind of drunk, or maybe it's because
50-50.
Or maybe it's because they're so excited about their national holiday. But it's a time when Dutch people get out of their culturally stiff upper lip, like not rude, but directly to the point.
Yeah, when they let go, they let go.
They let go, and it's just incredible.
Which I think was exemplified in a moment that happened. Well, it happened on me, but it happened to you.
Yeah, I mean, technically it did happen on you, but it happened to me. So, like we were saying, a lot of these people enjoy their boats, their little canal boats, and you can rent them out for days, and especially days like King's Day. Yeah. You'll see a lot of party boats. Yeah. Full to the brim of people. I'd say most likely over capacity. Maybe 30 people on these very small boats.
Yeah.
Everyone's standing up, playing music, dancing around. But the boats don't go very fast at all.
They're just trembling through the city.
They just tread along. So we were walking down the street from one music venue to another music venue to go see ABBA. An ABBA cover, which was
interesting. And I think we should leave it there.
Yes. So we were walking and we saw this boat of girls and guys, and they were all partying. You could tell they were chanting in Dutch. They were chanting something.
They look like students.
They definitely looked like students. But I started dancing around, dancing to their music, putting my hands up in the air. They were absolutely loving it. So all I see is this one girl points at me, yells something in Dutch, reaches down, pulls out a very large can of beer and tosses that right in my direction.
And we're talking, this is one of those little Aldi home brand beer.
Definitely the cheapest beer that you can possibly find in the
It's one of those where you pick up the can and read it and everyone goes, Yeah. It's a Heinenbruggen.
Yeah. So she throws this beer from the boat on the canal, and it hits the side of the canal, bounces off the ground,
pings
in between some bicycles, and lays down on the ground. Me, being in the spirit of King's Day, I run over to the can, pick it up, hold it up with all of its glory.
I thought you were going to shotgun
all
it,
of its glory.
Frat.
Yeah, man. If I thought of it, I might have. But I just popped that beer open, and it exploded like nobody's business.
It was a very private little King's Day firework session, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like popping a bottle of champagne at the end of a big race.
And it all came down on everyone around you, didn't it?
Yep, and I did not have a splash of beer on me.
No.
But everyone else...
The projectile was very well aimed.
Yeah.
It was too well aimed, you might say.
I did drink it very quickly after that, though.
I'm not surprised. Half of it was in the air.
Yeah, exactly. It was mostly foam. I'd say it's 50% canned foam.
Yeah. And then after that, we trundled through the city, watched people. Yeah. We had ended up at the. Oh, this was one cool about the party on the canal boat. So there's a canals everywhere. It's Holland, and they cover it with a big boat, stick a band on it, and just everyone's dancing. That was a really interesting part, though.
Yeah, it was. It was really interesting to be able to go onto the canal because it was in the city center. So we've both walked past that area plenty of times. They have a huge bridge that's covered. It's gorgeous. But by covering the canal and turning it into the dance floor, you are able to experience what it's like from that viewpoint.
Yeah, it's very
looking up at the bridge instead of looking down at the canal and having the bands up at the bridge. It was like, this is a perfect stage.
I don't really remember too much of the stage. I had a few schlagers.
We did find a bottle of Heineken.
Oh,
that was a champagne.
A
yeah, a Heineken. It was a Heineken bottle that we bought on King's Day.
A champagne Heineken.
Yeah, from one of those late night shops.
Yeah. And
cork and all.
Yeah. And another opportunity. You didn't spray us this time, which I do respect.
No, because I was trying to conserve the beer, and we had already had that experience.
Yeah, we didn't have to do that again. And that was our King's Day. Drink, dance, orange.
I made sure I wore orange. Did you wear orange, Ben?
I didn't wear orange. I don't own any orange.
You don't
own
any
orange?
I own orange.
You only wear orange or own orange if you were a dock worker, I think. And it's been years since my dock working days.
What about a crossing guard?
I wouldn't be respectable as a crossing guard.
I saw a few people on King's Day wearing those the high visibility vests.
Yeah, that's probably because that's the easiest way to get orange. It's a difficult color to attain.
It's definitely a unique color.
Yeah, it is a unique color.
Very unique to the Dutch people.
Yeah,
that's why they call.
It's also a really cool thing to have because, again, like a holiday, I don't feel like England has a color. Yeah, we have the red and the white, but it's kind of got neo-Nazi-esque connotations now.
And every country...
And we're not proud of the red, white, and blue.
Well, you are red, white, and blue.
We are red, white, and blue, but we don't go around saying red, white, and blue all the time.
You say red, blue, white.
Yeah, well, mistake.
Incorrectly.
Yeah. Incorrectly, we say red, blue. We don't say anything about our flag. I don't even know if I've ever swung a flag for my country. It's just not something that happens there. And I do get jealous when I see it in countries. 4th of July looks fun. I've been in Independence Days, Liberation Days in other countries. They're always the best days. Absolutely, by far the best day. And King's Day was no exception.
It's a time where everyone gets to come around as a community for their country. Yeah. And some people can say patriotism is good. Maybe it's bad in some circumstances. But having a day to come together with your fellow, whether they're not the same color as you or different, whoever,
religion,
but if
race,
you're there
whatever.
In the country at the time, you celebrate and everyone has a good time.
And I always do the same thing on these days. There's never any animosity in the cards. Maybe it's a nationalist, patriotic day, but everyone's involved, everyone's invited. We're not from here. We were welcome as anyone else. And I didn't see it any difference for anyone else. It was a very friendly atmosphere.
I'd say the closest. What would you say the best holiday in the UK is? Maybe bonfire night.
Well, not really. Bonfire,
but it is specifically English. Like
it is. But the best holiday is my favorite's Christmas Eve. But
Christmas is everywhere.
Christmas is everyone's. We don't have our own one, not really.
Bonfire night's definitely.
That's our only holiday, but we don't go out celebrate. We go to the park. There's some fireworks, about 8 fireworks, some limp, flaccid fireworks. You see, eat a toffee apple, go home. You know what I mean? It's not like we're out in the streets all day. Also, it's November.
Yeah, that is a key. I'd say that most of the big national holidays are in this late spring, summer, early August.
Also, weirdly, most revolutions, sieges, that kind of thing happen in the summer months. You don't want to have a revolution when it's raining.
You don't want to have a revolution when it's snowing.
No, you absolutely don't.
You asked the Germans about that going into Russia. Yeah. How that worked out for them.
Yeah, you do your political business, your coups in the summer. A summer coup. What's a nice summer coup?
Nice summer you get a Pim's cup and a nice summer coup.
Yeah, there's a cocktail. Yeah.
What are bitter balls?
I don't think they're called bitter balls for starters.
Bitter balling. Bitter balling.
Bitter balling?
Bitter balling.
Bitter balling. I'm bitten balling, as the song goes. Look that up. They're deep fried, cheese-based meat snacks.
Cheese-based
It sounds like something you'd have in America.
It does. It really does. But it has a very Dutch feel to it. I
don't know what it is.
They're delicious. It is salty, but like a croquette, which is also Dutch. It's sort of
that's what it is. It's a Dutch croquette.
Yeah, it's a like a meat paste sort of type thing.
Yeah,
and they roll it into these balls, breadcrumbs, dunk it in the fryer, and the outside is crispy and delicious, and the inside is just gooey. Who cares what it is?
Yeah,
because it's incredible.
It's kind of like a chocolate truffle if you had a savory version.
Yeah, savory chocolate truffle.
Yeah.
Like one of the Lindt truffles.
Yes, exactly like that. Yeah. Imagine
if it was deep fried and savory.
Yeah, it was lovely. Right, should we talk about Leiden?
Yeah, let's get into it. So Leiden, for those who don't know, is a city in the Netherlands. It is in between Amsterdam and Rotterdam. It's closest to The Hague, which is it's not technically the capital of the Netherlands, but it's the government capital. Yeah. So we're just about a 10-minute train ride from The Hague.
It's where I work.
Yeah, and Leiden, the city, is pretty small city. There's no skyscrapers or any of that. Very
150,000, something like that.
Yeah, about that population, and it's got all the quaint, beautiful European style to it, with the canals, the canal
Very
boats.
Dutch.
Yeah, extremely Dutch.
It's the epitome of Dutch.
I think there's 6 windmills just in Leiden itself. So seeing those around definitely makes you remember that you're in the Netherlands.
Absolutely. So we've been living here now, 4 months, 3 months, something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
So kind of know our way around a little bit, all the cobbled streets here and there. Leiden's got quite a rich history, very important city in the Netherlands, where the Pilgrims set off from.
Oh yeah, the Pilgrims.
You want to mention the Pilgrims? Is that your thing?
Well, the Pilgrims came here because they were being persecuted, and Leiden was a very open city.
Calvinist.
They were Calvinists, but Leiden, from the university and having that kind of population and demographic of intellectuals, weren't too religious, and were very open with their thoughts and stuff. So it was a safe place for these Calvinists to come to try to find a home. But they ended up deciding to set off for the New World to create a land of their own, which they did. They found the Mayflower
route.
Yeah,
had a little pit stop there, Holla representing, and then on to somewhere else.
Leiden has, along with the canals everywhere, has a very pronounced edge canal, where there was a wall that was about, I think, 10 meters high.
Yeah.
To keep invaders out in the old times and have it as just a pristine city. Yeah. And there are 2 gates that still stand today. One is just outside here, which is called the Zeelpoort, and the other, on the west side of town, is called the Moorspoort. And that is an homage to the
that's what we're drinking right now.
The beer that we're drinking right now, or the Moorsporter.
I gotta say, it's going down quite smoothly now. I wasn't a fan at first, but getting to grips with it. So one of the things I did when I had a look at Leiden was have a look at some notable inhabitants, which it has certainly had a few of. But one stood out for me. Do you know any of the notable inhabitants of Leiden?
I do know that one of the United States presidents went to Leiden University.
He did. There's some bigger ones, some very famous people. A painter.
There is a painter. What is
you said him before.
I remember who it is, but I can't remember.
Oh, I see what you're doing. Very
who is
good.
That?
Yeah.
Rembrandt, yeah.
Rembrandt. And the other one, the physicist.
Do they have
Scientist.
a bar? Do they have a bar named after him?
They do,
here?
Einstein. But the notable inhabitant that stood out to me is someone called Bert Puss Bleder.
Oh, who's that? Is? No, I do not.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read you the Wikipedia page of Bert Puss Bleder, and I want to see if you can get an idea of who this might be. So Bert Puss Bleder was blank, who attracted national media in the Netherlands after becoming a regular fixture at various businesses in Leiden's central district. His exploits became the subject of several news reports and inspired a Facebook fan page that attracted over 1,300 followers from around the world. Who do you think Bleder is?
Facebook fan page makes me think that it was modern, but up until the point that you said that,
I should say he was famous from 2011 to 2013.
2011 to 2013. Businesses in the Leiden City Central. I don't know. Is it the owner of Albert Heijn?
It is not. The next line, quite depressingly, unfortunately, Bleder died after being struck by an unknown motorist near his home in Leiden.
Is it a cat?
It's a cat.
Oh my god!
Bert Puss Bleder is a cat that has 1,300 Facebook fans.
That is incredible.
Yeah. And I went on his Facebook page, and it's now, even though, sadly he died back in 2013, is people just posting like little memories of him saying, "Miss you, Bert Puss. Wish you were still around." So he obviously captured quite a bit of attention while he was here.
That would make sense that the residents of Leiden would have a cat as sort of a famous persona within the city. Everywhere I go, I always run into cats that are just walking around the city, and it's an interesting, I guess it's a Dutch sort of tradition, or the culture is that you don't always have to put a collar on your cat, and you just let it walk around the city. So
yeah, we don't really do that in England either.
Yeah, so at first I thought, it has a lot of stray cats, but when you go up to the cats, you can tell that they're, domesticated. They're very friendly. I'm a big cat person. I love dogs as well, but grew up with cats.
Of course.
And it's something that I really love, just going around and seeing all these cats all over the place.
Mm.
Do you know what kind of cat this?
Oh, they've got a little picture of him here. I don't know.
Is it calico, white cat, black cat?
He's a black cat.
Ooh, unlucky.
Black and white. Sorry.
Ooh, black and white. Okay.
Yeah. Let's go on his Facebook page. Burpus Bledder, the Facebook. Here's a picture of him, and I think, is that Studio de Vest?
Oh yeah, it is Studio de Vest.
Yeah.
That's
he's on stage in Studio de Vest.
He's must have been a musician, a very talented musician as well. It's probably why he got all his fame.
And it's funny, on his Facebook page, there's like there's little pictures, like those ones in the newspapers, or like newspaper cartoon style, and it's lots of tourists looking at a statue of him and ignoring the statue of Rembrandt. I guess that was the joke around at the time. Yeah.
Along the lines of what we're talking about, this cat, the other day I was walking down the haven by my house is the area where the water gets a little deeper so that bigger boats can come in. Most of the canals are only about 3 feet deep, so you could, you might not be able to see the bottom, but you could jump in and only be waist height. And there's a larger part, the haven, where the big boats go, and they have this project called Cat uit de Gracht, which is a cat out of the canal. It was a big problem in Leiden, since they have such a big cat population, that a lot of the cats were falling into the canals, and at certain spots there's not an easy way for them to get out, and a lot of these cats were drowning and dying. And they said within 2005 to 2015, about 40 cats drowned in the canals. So they started this project called Cat uit de Gracht, which they put up special ropes and platforms for the cats to go onto to either save themselves or for a passerby to be able to pull a rope up to save the cat. And they said that the residents of Leiden who were keeping track of this and in charge of this project said they saved like 70 cats.
Really?
Over the 10-year project span. They've completed it now because they've put all the infrastructure for stuff in place, and they have different signs around informing the public of, the issue.
Yeah.
But it shows that not only does Leiden love the owl as their logo, that's more of the university, but they have a very what's the word I'm looking for? A fond
affiliation.
Yeah, they have a great affiliation for cats.
Affiliation? No.
They have a affection.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have a lot. The city of Leiden and the residents have a big affection for cats.
They do.
And they're the cats within the city.
So, I actually think you already know this, but I thought I'd bring it up here before. So, recently, my name, Cave, has a bit of a connection with Leiden as well. My surname is Cave, C-A-V-E.
I would just think of a cave within a mountain or something like that.
But, so I posted on one of the Facebook groups here, just asking for a recommendation for something. And someone, lovely person, I'm sure all their intentions were admirable, came and said, off topic, but did you know Cave, or E with a little accent, so I think it's Cave, is a typical Leiden surname? And I replied, I didn't. What does it mean? And the response was, thus. It is derived from the French word chavet. I think chavet. Actually, lots of Leideners have roots in France and Belgium. French Huguenots fled from Catholic France to Protestant Leiden centuries ago. This gave Leiden the name City of Refugees. Then later, in the 18th and 19th century, lots of Belgians were asked to come work in the Leiden sheet and blanket industry. Lots of their French surnames were bastardized into Dutch surnames. So we're attacking the name already. But fine, not too bad. Names are bastardized.
Bastardized, yeah, of course.
This is one of them. Often, people with French-sounding Leiden names prefer to be descendants of the Huguenots than the Belgian immigrant workers. Many of the Belgian workers were mentally impaired as well. Oh. They bred like rabbits. Lol. I verbatim. I didn't add that in.
So you have a Dutch descent of
possibly
maybe mentally disabled.
Yeah, that's maybe it's 50-50. Could be the French Huguenots.
Oh, it could be. Yeah.
But then went on to say, which caused the Leiden population to averagely have the lowest IQ in the country, despite the oldest university being here. Not sure if the Cave family is of French or Belgian origin, but my guess is the latter. This is where I pause for a moment. She didn't seem to offer any explanation why her guess is the latter. But on my innocent request, she's lambasted my family name and thrown me in with the Belgian mentally impaired workers.
It goes to the deep, sort of brotherly rivalry between the Netherlands and Belgium, because the Netherlands and France, it's not as heavy of a rivalry. You know, English and French, you would have such a stronger rivalry of attacking another person's culture and their thing. But with here, the Dutch and the Belgian obviously aren't very.
But I'm not Belgian.
You might be.
Yeah, well, that's true. Actually, I might be. She's assumed that I am. She then went on to say, Leiden Cave. I think it's Leiden. It's spelled Leen. Leiden Cave. Cave was a famous bar owner. Now I looked into him. Do you want to know the bar which he owned?
Please tell me it was Einstein.
No.
The Buntaku?
No. We were there very recently.
Oh, were we?
Yeah. Watching a famous game for a close football team.
Was it the Duke?
No, Viking.
The Viking.
The Viking,
wow.
Yeah. He was the owner of the Vikings bar. It might have been different at the time. And also someone else, Cave, who was a famous singer of the terrible Dutch Slager-style crappy music. I can see if I can find more. I didn't respond to that.
I wonder what this woman's life is like, that she has to take the time out of her day to berate you and your family.
I don't think
and defame your name.
Yeah. But it's interesting, actually, because this isn't the first time I've received similar things about my name. When I first Googled my name, it went to France again, but for a different reason. Kauf, which means bold, as in a bold man. Not bold with courageous, bold hairless.
Oh, yeah.
And people who know me will know it's an area that's lacking for me, my hairline, so to speak. And then when I was
definitely not bold. Definitely
I'm not bold, but I got a questionable hairline, to put it.
But I'm sure there have been some men in your family.
Yeah, my dad, my granddad. Yeah.
Nice and bald.
Yeah. They're struggling too. It's a what is it called? Family male pattern baldness runs in the Cave family. And then when I was in Vietnam, this one's worse. When I was in Vietnam, the kids would see my name. I was teaching English. The kids would see my name on the board, and they go, Cave, which is how you pronounce it in Vietnamese. And they'd all start laughing. And I'd be like, what does it mean? Why are you all laughing? And they either couldn't or wouldn't tell me what it means. And at one point, one boy tried to explain it to me. And all he did was he kind of put his hands under his chest, kind of to hold two fake boobs, and kind of jiggled them. I was like, well, I don't understand what that's supposed to mean.
Yeah, I understand what you're doing, but how?
So
why?
I spoke to one of the Vietnamese people I worked with, and their translation was prostitute.
Oh,
yeah. So a bold, mentally impaired prostitute.
Wow,
it's a niche market.
That is definitely a niche market. Yeah. I don't know. Would you ever feel like you needed to change your last name?
No, I think it stands strong. I get it from English-speaking people; they always love it. Outside of England, Australians, Americans, they always love my last name. But like people like Nick Cave and stuff. But in the non-English-speaking world, it's a point of contention. Yeah.
Maybe you have to translate your last name into a cave. Figure out what the word for cave is in French or Vietnamese, and then just use that instead.
Yeah. Like Ben Cow of it, or something like that, yeah. All right. Shall we try the next beer?
Yeah, absolutely. So what do we got on tap?
All right. Do you want to let me just...
Oh, thank you.
All right.
Were we able to get the IPA?
This is the IPA.
This is the IPA.
So,
But IPA, you know, if you were to buy an India Pale Ale, it would be IPA.
They've gone for a funny little Dutch humour joke, very much within line of the Dutch humour I've noticed so far. It is spelled AAIPIEJEE. IPA. IPA. I think is what they're going for. But it looks to me like IPJ. IPG.
It's a nice little artwork on here. It's got a lady who looks very happy about her IPA.
On these large beers, they've gone for the Rembrandt style.
Definitely the Rembrandt style.
Understandable.
I would wonder if it is actually a Rembrandt painting. I wouldn't be surprised since he's from here, and I'm sure he has a large swath of artwork that is Leiden related.
That is bloody lovely. I don't mind telling you. It's very nice.
we both came to Leiden, and we both you played, and I was just a big fan, but of the sport, which you would call football, and I would call soccer.
I would correctly call football, yes.
Yeah, you would correctly call football, and I would incorrectly call soccer.
Absolutely.
But when I came here to Leiden, I very quickly realized that Leiden itself does not have one of the, within the top 4 tiers of Dutch football, they don't have a team.
Quite surprising.
Yeah, I would think
even pretty hard to find a team.
Yeah, for a city this size, you would think that they would have a team of their own, especially with the history of the city. But we were able to find one team that is close enough that we could ride our bikes to the game.
Technically in the Leiden conglomeration,
yeah,
I believe,
yeah.
Sorry, I went ahead and spoiled it for you there. How do you say it?
Well, I would say Katwijk.
Looks like Katwijk.
If I was saying soccer, I would say Katwijk soccer, but it's Katwijk. Katwijk, yeah. Like Virgil van Dijk, Katwijk.
Hey, that's a very good way of explaining it, especially to the football-speaking world.
So we take our bikes to this seaside town called Katwijk. Yeah. Katwijk. And we watch the local 3rd division team play. It's VV Katwijk. The VV is sort of like an FC because in Dutch football is voetbal. Yeah. Football, but the V is F, so it's still football. Yeah. But we went there last year. They had won their division and were supposed to be promoted to the 2nd tier, but there was some political and
I'd love to know the feelings of the club. Basically, they won the league, should have been promoted, didn't get promoted because some kind of structural changes. So they're still in the same division. And we went to see them play. I don't remember. Who did we see them play?
We saw them play twice. One was against their local rival, which was the Rijnsburg. Yeah, Rijnsburg boy. And the first one was GVVV.
Oh, yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
They didn't have a name. They were just initials.
Yeah, it was just the initials.
Yeah.
But both of the times, the atmosphere there is...
super friendly.
Yeah, very friendly. Yeah. Really open. We definitely met some interesting fans.
Yeah. One guy who came over and grabbed us both by the beard. While saying... Well, he was speaking Dutch, to be fair. We didn't understand what was going on.
Yeah,
it was a friendly.
He did switch to English at some point in time.
Yeah, almost immediately when he knew we didn't understand what was going on, he switched to English. And I think that's the first time a beard grab has been my first greeting for someone.
Yeah, a quick beard grab.
Yeah.
It's unpleasant but sensual at the same time.
It is. It's also weirdly acceptable. It's like when people, I say weirdly acceptable. People are socially acceptable, but it shouldn't be done. You know what I mean? Like when people feel a pregnant woman's belly, don't do that without asking.
Yeah, that is definitely strange. Yeah. Now, I have a pretty bad memory, but could you recall, did this man have a beard himself?
No, I believe he called himself and everyone else there baby faces.
Oh, yeah, that is right. So maybe he was just jealous and he wanted to...
Well, maybe popular here. You don't see as many beards. It's very popular in the UK.
You definitely don't. Maybe in a past life he had a beard, and he was missing
trying to reclaim it.
Yeah, exactly. Trying to reclaim some of his elder beard glory.
Yeah. But I would say mine's in the glorious region, but it was better than his.
I would say, definitely better than his. But the team, it was. I think they won. Did they win both times, or they drew once and won once?
2-1.
But, it's just a great experience. They have a nice little clubhouse.
They did.
For halftime and stuff. And the supporters, you could get right up on the pitch and yell at some of the players.
Yeah, well, there's a lot going on. It was all in good jest, though.
Definitely in good jest.
And the second time, not that we would ever do this, but you can definitely just sit on the bank next to the game and drink your own beers there. That's a possibility. Not that we did that. You definitely want to sit on the side and drink 6 or 7 Heineken.
It's definitely a thought I had. From the stadium, you could see this big hill, and at the top of the hill, you could clearly see the entire pitch, and it's out of the ground, so you wouldn't have to pay for the €8 ticket, and you'd be able to drink.
Seems like a great idea.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like a great idea, but no, I've never done that. Yeah, definitely. I wouldn't have done that. I've only ever gotten a ticket and gone in and paid for my experience.
Yeah.
Beer?
Let's have our last one. Yeah. All right, now we're on our third beer. I should note that we're sharing these bottles. We're not plowing through them.
Oh, you didn't have to tell them that.
Yeah.
Got some hair on our chests.
Yeah. And this is a Bittere Tranen, which I think is a licht blonde, a light beer.
So we decided to try these beers. We went from dark to medium to light.
From Mooresporter to IPG to Bittere Tranen.
And there are Leiden-themed beers.
Yeah.
It is the
Leiden brewed, Leiden-themed, Leiden-labeled.
The Keytown craft beer.
It is.
They call it the Keytown because the city of Leiden, on the flag of the city and on the crest, you could see it on every building. You'll see it everywhere. The crossed keys, which are the symbol of Leiden. And
a tattoo I may get when drunk one day.
Again, that's a story for another day. So Leiden has the cross keys because they have a church which the pilgrims were part of, and it's called St. Peter's Church. And St. Peter is the saint who has the keys to the gates of heaven. So Leiden, being a walled city, obviously had a lot of gates and keys involved with those gates, so they decided to incorporate those themes into their city emblem and the flag.
Are they trying to imply that Leiden is the city that has the keys to the gates of heaven?
I think originally they were, but if you look now to some of the information that the city of Leiden promotes about itself, is they've changed over the last 50 years or so to saying that they are the keys to discovery.
Oh, so they have. Yeah.
So
which would be to do with the university.
Yes, now it's
the observatory. That's Einstein. That's other famous physicists. I'm sure. Well, we don't need to mention them.
Even Rembrandt. The keys to discovery of different scientific inventions, of different a lot of knowledge, and this sort of thing.
We're freeballing art, culture, physicists, scientists,
exactly,
knowledge.
We've had a really great time having this conversation, and we're really glad that you listened. We learned a lot of things about cats.
Yep.
About Leiden.
Yeah, well, it's a cat Leiden podcast.
Oh, it's our podcast about cats in Leiden. If you didn't realize, but we love X-Cats. Dang it! We thought Bitter Balls was such a great idea. We should have done X-Cats. But we really thank you guys for listening. If you want to subscribe, we will be
follow. Smash that like button.
Yeah, we're on every social media that you could think of. You just look up Bitter Balls Pod, Bitter Balls Podcast.
Yeah, Twitter, @BitterBallsPod, Facebook, Bitter Balls Podcast, Instagram, Bitter Balls Podcast. Or if you want to email us with anything, ideas, someone we might want to speak to, interesting things about Leiden.
Interesting things about any sort of expat experience that you've had. It doesn't have
to be Leiden based. We spoke about Leiden because we live here.
We live here, and it's episode 1.
But we plan to branch out more into just how it is living in Holland, how it is living abroad. We both got lived experience living abroad in different places.
You gotta stick around and make sure you subscribe for that one. If we get a couple 5-star ratings on whatever podcast app you're listening to, whether it's Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, SoundCloud, anything, whatever you're listening to. If you give us a 5-star rating, leave us a review. Let us know if you want to hear the experiences of us eating raw salted herring. Maybe we'll do it, but that's up to you guys.
All right, and if you want to email us, the email is bitterballspodcast@gmail again. That email again is
bitterballpodcast@gmail.com.
bitterballspodcast@gmail.com. We'll get there. We'll get you. You'll remember.
bitterballpodcast@gmail.com. .com.
There we go. All right. That's it. Time.
Thanks.
Christ.
God damn it! That's the end.
Yeah.